Hey tennis team, this is Coach Sebert. Sorry I'm not at the meeting today, but I know Coach Summers is holding it down for me and I appreciate that. So I just wanted to make this video, try to make it as quick as possible, but I wanted to come on and talk about a few things. First and foremost, thank you so much for coming out and showing interest in joining the tennis team. And no matter if you have any experience or not, we're very happy to have you. And if you don't have any experience, understand that Coach Summers and I will help you learn the game as fast as we can so that you can get out there and play. So that's actually my first point is, in my experience with tennis, I've been playing for like 20 years or something like that. And I just know that this is a fantastic family to be a part of. Always very supportive teammates whenever I was on a team, and I try to have that same sort of feeling on my teams that I coach. So if we do have any experienced players, absolutely, they can be used as a resource to help you learn the game, and you can ask Coach and I any questions that you have. And I do plan, next thing I want to talk about, I do plan to have a couple of workshops before practices actually begin. Practices aren't going to begin until the Tuesday after spring break. I don't have a calendar in front of me, so maybe Coach Summers could tell you the date for that. But we will have practices that first Tuesday after spring break. However, before then, I would like to hold some workshops for the people who do not know how to play, just to learn how to score, to learn the different parts of the tennis court. And we'll also have information packets that I want people to take home and read over spring break, just so that you can learn some of the basics. The next thing I want to talk about are the things that you're going to need for practices and matches. We will have uniforms, and I will let Coach Summers talk more about that. We'll have an online store. I would really like all of those orders to be in, like the last day that you should make purchases was probably the Friday before spring break, just so that we make sure that the company has enough time to make them for us, and so that you have them for our first match, which will be it's 3 weeks after spring break. So we'll have 2 weeks of just straight practices, and then that third week we have a couple matches in that week. Okay. But anyways, back to what you need for practices and matches. For practices, you will need athletic clothing. T-shirt, can be long sleeve, doesn't matter to me. But you will need shorts or athletic pants of some sort. I recommend shorts that have pockets. That's very important, because you're going to need to put tennis balls in those pockets, and you don't want to be chasing them down every single point. So definitely invest in some pockets. Very important. Also, a note on tennis shoes. If you can, I would highly recommend that you get a pair of tennis shoes that have, that are made for tennis. Actual tennis shoes have harder soles on them so that they don't wear down as fast on the rough surface of the tennis courts. You can use any other athletic shoes that you have. Just be aware that things like basketball shoes and sneakers and things like that, if they have a softer sole, they are going to wear down faster than just normally walking around because of the surface. So I just want you to be aware of that. You can use other athletic shoes. That's fine by me. However, if you want your shoes to last, you can get, it doesn't even have to be an expensive pair, a cheap pair of tennis shoes. Adidas sells some in the Lighthouse Mall. Nike sometimes has some, or you can just order them online. So that's my recommendation. However, again, any athletic shoes will be fine. It will get warmer. However, you're also probably going to want to bring like a sweatshirt or something like that, just in case it gets too cold. But if it's way too cold, then we're going to be having indoor practice. Okay, so other requirements. You're going to need a tennis racket. We do have a handful of rackets available if you don't have any. However, You can get some really inexpensive, cheap ones at Meijer. I know carries them. I believe Walmart does. You don't need to spend $100+ on a racket at this level. You can absolutely get one that's maybe $30, $40. I think they might even make some cheaper. However, if you are shopping at those places, make sure you don't get a junior racket. Make sure you get an adult racket. You guys are not that young where you need a junior racket. Plus, you'll notice that the grips are way too small for some of your hands. If your hands are smaller, then maybe you could do a junior racket. But just heads up for that. You should be able to comfortably fit 2 hands around the grip. So you'll need a tennis racket. You also need a water bottle for practices and matches. It doesn't matter if it's just like a plastic water bottle that you can recycle or a reusable one, but you're gonna need a water bottle. We'll be able to fill those up every practice, every match, but you're gonna need it for when you're on the court, because you're not gonna be able to come off each time to come get water. You got to bring it with you, and then also you can use a backpack for this or anything, but it might be a good idea to get a bag just to carry all your things. If not, it's not a big deal. So that's an optional one. Okay, so those are the required things. And finally, we need to talk about grades and attendance. Practice, we are making mandatory. There's a few exceptions, such as medical things and things like that, like if you have a doctor's appointment or something. But we need to be able to communicate that to either Coach Summers or myself. If you are absent from school, sick, or something like that, we need to know, because when we get into match times, everyone has a certain position, and if they're not here and they don't tell us, then we're scrambling to try and figure out how we want to do the lineup, and that's not good. So just make sure that you tell us a reason that you might have for not showing up, and we'll talk about it, whether it's acceptable or not. But we do expect every Tuesday, Thursday, you're at practice, and of course the matches. We will have both away and home matches. Home matches will be played at the high school courts, and away will be played at wherever the other teams have us go. And we'll take buses for that. So we do have the schedules, which I'll get to you this week. We did have one minor change, so I don't want to give you the schedules just yet, because I need to get back there and make the change for us. But we'll get those schedules out to you, so you'll know when the matches are. We'll have times and locations, so if your family members want to travel to see you play at those away matches as well, then they will have that information. What am I forgetting? I think that's about it on my end. GPAs, real quick. Last thing, GPAs. Got to be at 1.5. We go right along with the high school on that. 1.5 GPA, and keep it up during the season. If we're below that, then we won't allow you to play. And we also need physicals. You don't need a new physical if you played a sport earlier this year and had a physical for that sport. But if you do not have a physical, please get that to us before our first practice, after spring break. So you got some time to schedule that. Okay, if I miss anything, I'm sure Coach Summers will get that for me. She has information about uniform stuff, and can probably answer any other questions that you might have. If she cannot, please email me, or you'll see me tomorrow in school. So thanks, guys. Again, love it that you guys showing up to try tennis out. See you guys soon.